shit. That's what I'm talking about.
Welcome to the FOMO Show about TV technology and home theater news. This week's headline is a fun one. 2024 is going to be a real battle between TV makers, and no, it's not just me over dramatizing. Let's read the next three headlines and you tell me what you think is happening. LG Display looks to fortify itself for OLED battles ahead. Chinese coalition forces aggressively pursuing Samsung in the mini-LED market. 2024 will decide the future of OLED TVs, and Samsung and LG may both lose. And that's three headlines from three different publications, one from Korea. Yes, 2024 looks to be a fun battle, and guess what? Consumers are going to win, because what do companies love to do when there's a battle? Innovate, get better, drop prices. Let's check it out on today's FOMO Show.
And today's video is brought to you by Whokeys. Trying to build a PC on a budget but don't know where to buy your Windows 10 software on the cheap? Whokeys to the rescue. Use my code SF20 and immediate discount. At the bottom of this order where it says code CARD, to the right is the product key you need to activate Windows. So copy this long number, then go to the Windows menu and click on Settings. In the Settings menu at the bottom, select Update and Security. Select Activation, then select Change Product Key, paste what you copied from Whokeys, click Next, click Activate, and you're done. You can download a copy of Windows 11 Pro with my discount code SF20 and bam.
In 2023, the battles were all about LG versus Samsung in the same arena. LG's WOLED versus Samsung Display's QD-OLED, and ultimately, QD-OLED looked like to have prevailed in terms of accuracy, color luminance, and color space. However, in terms of brightness, LG's WOLED with MLA reigned supreme because indeed it made the brightest OLED TVs available as long as it had MLA. Regardless, both of these technologies, WOLED or QD-OLED, or rather WOLED with MLA, and QD-OLED represented the best in class. But 2024 appears to be unprecedented in terms of the battle ahead. LG Display looks to fortify itself for OLED battles ahead. Now, at first glance, this headline seems to indicate that LG wants to keep up with the Joneses, Samsung specifically, because they know how well QD-OLED did this year, and so they want to prepare for that ongoing battle. Now, how does it plan to fortify itself? LG Electronics to participate in capital increase for LG Display's OLED investment. So LG Display wants to invest more in its OLED technology. It's got to borrow money, it's got to have to release more stock, get a lot of money into its coffers to do this because it's not cheap. But what is it doing exactly with its money? And here we have it. LG Display's 1.36 trillion won paid-in capital increase. Where are the resources going to be used? Scrolling down, there are a few ideas, but I want to focus on the one thing that affects you all, TV enthusiasts, which is, we plan to pay for the purchase of raw materials. Raw materials. What could that mean? Well, maybe this next headline will indicate something. OLED technology development for demand growth, and it must be that latest, greatest unicorn OLED substance, phosphorescent OLED blue, coming in 2024. So this blue phosphorescent OLED, right? It is the next generation in OLED chemistry. Currently, we're using fluorescent blue OLED, which although works, it doesn't work as well as blue phosphorescent. Blue phosphorescent OLED is brighter, more vibrant, more efficient. I mean, all the good stuff that makes phosphorescent OLED better, because currently we're already using red phosphorescent and green phosphorescent OLED on these WOLED TVs. Next is finally blue phosphorescent OLED arriving in 2024. Obviously, it's not cheap. They're going to have to borrow a lot of money. Now, what LG Display is investing in is not limited to that, right? They want to go into growth areas. And here's the problem for LG Display. OLED TVs is no longer a growth area. And this is where we set the stage for the battle. If growth is limited, though, in terms of the TV industry is seeing OLED TVs not just stagnant, but declining, dropping by over 20% in the last year. That's a problem for LG Electronics and LG Display, because think about this. Why should we rush to invest in a technology, in a marketplace that has no growth potential. Where is that growth going to be unless they drop prices? And this is key. OLED TVs are great. We saw last year, right? The king of TVs in every shootout and every comparison was victorious using either LG's WOLED technology or Samsung's QD-OLED. The Sony A95L and the Samsung S95C, S90C used QD-OLED, and the LG G3 with MLA used WOLED. These were the dominant performance flagship technologies and TVs, right? But they're expensive. That's the critical part. And number two, performance is no longer enough. Have we reached a point of diminishing returns? Because at some point, the TVs, not the flagship level, we're talking budget TVs. At some point, the budget TV performance is so good, right? Every year, all TVs get better, whether it's the budget or the best. So this entire segment from budget to best TVs, they get better and better every year with better processing. I mean, we saw the Sony X90L, right? It didn't add any more dimming zones. It added a better processor. Suddenly, the TV got better. No differently, budget TVs will improve the processing over time as well. Maybe not XR clear level in the next year, but maybe in 5 years, it may match XR clear. So over time, all TV companies and all tiers from the budget to the top will all get better. This leaves consumers with a wonderful position, which is they don't have to spend for the best to get more than good enough. All the TV brands are facing this issue, which is if performance is good enough at the mid-tier to budget level, what must we do at the flagship level to justify our investment in improving that technology? Maybe nothing. And LG Electronics recognizes this conundrum, so this is what they're doing. LG is bringing new apps and services to smart TVs. They're focusing on things that make money without too much investment. In this case, apps and services, which also drives eyeballs, which then can drive advertising dollars. So what is LG adding to their TVs? Educational services, learning platforms, entertainment and gaming, lifestyle and wellness, art and culture. I mean, they're throwing stuff at the wall hoping something sticks because they see that all this capital investment, right, hard money into research and tooling didn't sell more TVs. On the other hand, this next headline indicates something else. China's BOE to invest 3 times more than Samsung in OLED. Wait, didn't we just say that OLED TVs have reached market saturation? You know, people aren't buying OLED TVs, it's too expensive. Why would BOE start investing into this market if it looks like there's no growth? Well, that's the TV space. There's a lot of growth left in the OLED market in terms of IT. PC monitors, medium-sized to small-sized panels. So TVs are large panels, right? Medium-sized panels, 32-inch, maybe 42-inch. Anything less than 42-inch down to maybe 27 inches. That's your medium-sized panel OLED. There is still growth there. And if we scroll down in this article, it says the industry expects IT OLEDs to lead the sector next year, as OLED shipments for smartphones and TVs peaked in 2021 but have since declined due to weak demand. We just talked about that. The IT OLED market, that's PC monitors, is estimated to be about 5 times larger than the smartphone OLED market. So, TV panel sales have peaked, but PC monitors appear to be virgin territory, and LG, not surprisingly, unveils 6 OLED monitors in the 27-inch to 45-inch, including a 32-inch gaming monitor with 480 dual hertz. So basically, it flips 1080p, it gets to 480, or 4K goes up to 240, right? So that's pretty amazing. That's groundbreaking. It's never been done before. So LG is focusing its brains, its best technology and engineering on this, I'd say, untapped market, whereas the TV market's tapped out. You saw the slow decline over the last 2 years. LG Electronics and LG Display is like, okay, you know what? We got to pivot. We have a great technology. WOLED is not irrelevant. It's still good enough. Let's make it and enter it into a space. TV panels or not TV, car dashboards, right? They're going to use OLEDs there, and PC monitors. But here's the problem. If there's no additional investment into the TV space next year, or maybe even the year after, if they're just focusing on PC monitors, it leads us to this issue, waiting out OLED with Mini LED. So what are we waiting for? Basically, OLED TVs need to get cheaper. They need to do something to get us excited again. But what's taking its place? This headline says it all. Waiting out OLED with Mini LED, which takes us to What Hi-Fi's headline, and I love this headline because it shares what I believe is happening in 2024. This is the epic showdown, starting with this headline. 2024 will decide the future of OLED TVs, and Samsung and LG may both lose. MLA versus QD-OLED's battle is far from over, but a surprise challenger may take the crown. And we've been talking about the surprise challenger for the last 2 months. Getty, one of our viewers, originally asked us, okay, should I get that 77-inch Sony A95L or maybe the 83-inch A80L, right? It's about $3,000 to $4,000, maybe $5,000. I got the budget. I'm ready to upgrade. And what happened? The hisense U8K 100-inch was introduced. It was $4,000. He's like, wait a minute. I'm going from a hisense flagship that's about a year or two old. If I stick with hisense and it's slightly better, but it's so much bigger for the same price or less, I'm going to get more of an impact, because what did we say? Size immersion will give you the most improvement over anything else. And it's not going to be a worse TV. It'll be slightly improved over his current hisense. So he did it, right? He got that same budget. Instead of getting either a QD-OLED TV like the Sony A95L or a WOLED TV like the Sony A80L, or maybe the G3, C3, he went ahead and got, for $4,000, the hisense U8K, and that's what this article is talking about. It's not so much that OLED is not the better technology. It is. Image quality, it's the best. But as you get larger and larger, it becomes incredibly expensive. For that 77-inch size Sony A95L or even the 83-inch A80L, he paid less and got a 100-inch Mini LED TV. And many of you are saying, you know what? Crap is crap, right? If it's a bad-looking TV at 65 inches, it's going to look bad at 100 inches. But you people keep on forgetting this one most critical element. What TV are you coming from? If you're coming from an OLED TV, I completely agree, because an OLED TV is already good. The only upgrade you have is to stay with OLED and get larger. But if you're coming from an LCD TV that's 5 years old, 8 years old, yes, going to OLED definitely is better. But going to a better LCD TV is still better. Not this jump, infinite contrast OLED, but if you just jump this much, but you get this big, that's where people are going. They're taking the smaller image quality jump, so it's there, right? They're going to get HDR, specular highlights, slightly better blooming control than their older TV, but they're getting this size at 100 inches. That is what's going to make the neighbors talk and your kids get excited, and immersive gaming. This is where Mini LED is going. They are taking the battle to OLED. If you don't believe me, let's check this next stat. 2023 market update. TCL HiSense gained ground as OLED and Mini LED redefine advanced TV landscape. And I'm going to go down to this graph near the bottom. And this is the part that really surprised me. In the $1,500 to $2,000 range, right? So this is where good OLED TVs begin. The LG C3, the Sony A80L, the Samsung S90C. They are between $1,500 and $2,000, right? And so you see the orange here is LG. Okay, they're selling some good TVs at this price range. OLEDs, obviously. Samsung, the blue, also selling both Neo QLED, which are their Mini LED TVs, as well as OLED, the S89C, S90C, S95C, right? And then, surprisingly, the green and yellow represents hisense and TCL. Taken together, it's almost as big as LG's orange, meaning globally, not just in China, but globally, hisense and TCL are selling expensive TVs, $1,500 to $2,000, but it's not the same size. For $1,500 and $2,000, when you get a hisense or a TCL, you're getting an 85-inch TV. The hisense U8K at 85 inches, under $2,000. TCL QM8 at 85 inches, is under 2,000. But OLED, under 2,000, you're at the 65-inch. So they're competing against 65-inch OLEDs, flagship level quality, with larger mini-LED TVs, and it's working. This is 2023 sales. That's impressive. I never thought the TCL HiSense could play in this range, but let's jump to a higher range, $2,000 to $3,000. Definitely OLED space, right? Now we're talking 77-inch and 83-inch. Well, 83-inch, street price, Black Friday, $29.99. Yes, both the C3 is now $29.99 and the S90C, even though it's WOLED, also selling for under $3,000 on the Samsung website. Yet, hisense and TCL selling pretty well, not quite matching LG's OLED, but it's getting there. Look at that growth trajectory. When have we seen hisense and TCL play in the $2,000 and $3,000 range? If you're doing inch by inch, meaning 65-inch, 75-inch, 85-inch against a similarly sized OLED, no one's getting the hisense or TCL. But at the $2,000 to $3,000, we're talking 98-inch, 100-inch. So next headline, the stage is set. Chinese coalition forces aggressively pursuing Samsung in the mini-LED market. There you go. Clearly, Business Korea sees this. We all see it. By the end of 2023, people are looking at hisense and TCL as mini-LED rivals to Samsung. Arguably, Samsung sells the most advanced mini-LED TV. Not anymore. In 2024, TCL and hisense are introducing their best flagship TVs to the USA that not only matches but exceeds Samsung in spec. Now, processing remains to be seen. We know Sony has the best processing. Samsung, close, right behind. LG, OLED though. So LG is not playing the mini-LED space. So in the mini-LED space, Sony, best processing. Samsung, just behind Sony. hisense and TCL, a few steps behind. The question is, can they catch up? I put out a poll. I asked you guys, hey, what would get you to buy a hisense or TCL? The number one answer was improve your image processing. Can they do that in 2024? But for sure, and this is the part that sets the stage, DSCC analyzed that in the premium TV market, mini-LED product lines have emerged as competitors to OLED TVs. They're giving you more than good enough image quality. Not the best, we know the best is still OLED, but more than good enough, but at an expanded size for the same price. You're not saving money. So before we used to say, get hisense and TCL, best bang for the buck, value, you're saving money. You're not saving money anymore with hisense and TCL. You're spending the same amount you would have spent on an OLED, $2,000 to $3,000, but you're getting 98 inches, 100 inches, 85 inches. You're getting much more size for good enough performance, and that is a whole new angle I did not think of before 2023. And I know many of you are like, wait, 98 inches, that's just for Texas or the USA, right? I could only fit barely a 65-inch into my home. I want the best 65-inch I can get. And yeah, OLED is for you. I'm not trying to convince everyone is going to get this 98-inch, but this is why I said OLED TVs have peaked. The market for 55 and 65-inch TVs, it'll slowly grow, but it will then expand to 75, 85, or larger. There's still growth in the 75 and 85-inch size. 55, 65-inch size market, well, just 10 years ago, 32 inches was the thing. Will 55 and 65 still be the thing in 5 years? And how do we know that 32 inches was the thing? This takes us to this very old TV. The Toshiba 32-inch in 1998 was an amazing TV. 32 inches in 1998. How amazing was it? 1,600 pounds was this TV, right? Not the weight. This is a UK review of the Toshiba 32 MW7DB. It cost 1,600 pounds back in 1998. It was neither too expensive nor too big back then, and Toshiba fitted the bill for a TV that delivered great sound and vision. Now, I disagree that it wasn't too expensive. If you go back, the British pound back in 98, conversion to the US was about $1.66 per pound, right? Which comes up to a value of $2,600. So 1998, 1,600 pounds was about 2,600 US dollars. But fast forward to 2022, inflation and the like, that was a $4,668 TV. Let's just round it down to $4,500 to make it easy. This TV, for 1,600 pounds, in today's dollar, $4,500. $4,500 for a 32-inch TV. This is a flagship price TV. Today, for $4,500, you can get this 83-inch Bravia A80L OLED. It's only $4,000. But where's Toshiba today? End of an era for electronics giant Toshiba. Not only did they stop selling TVs, they are no longer now listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange. And this is huge because they've been on the stock exchange for 74 years, but now, due to mismanagements and missteps, they went from selling flagship TVs in '98, which is only 25 years ago, to today, just trying to survive. And this is the point, which is, just because you are number one today, what will you do to stay number one next year, in 5 years? Because I know a lot of you are thinking, wait, how can you take Hisense and TCL seriously? How can you not? You saw the numbers, you saw the graphs. They're selling at the same level of price point as an LG or Samsung premium OLED TV, premium MiniLED. They're selling in numbers that almost match LG this year. Where will they be in 2026 if they continue to invest in these technologies? And that will be an epic battle that begins in 2024. And this is why 2024 is unprecedented. When have we had Chinese companies, two of them, TCL and HiSense, which only arrived in 2014, 2015 as budget TVs, right? 9 years later, they are fighting the best. And we're talking Sony, Samsung, LG. These three going against China's best in TCL and HiSense. Yeah, CES 2024 is going to be amazing. Check out my coverage. It starts on January 7th on site at CES. We're going to cover all the TV brands that are there. Let me know in the comments below. What are you most excited for 2024 in terms of TV technology? Is it size? Is it OLED? And we will cover it. Until next time, stop the FOMO.
From the beginning.
Hit it, boys.